Hi everyone, my name is Olivia Stamper, and for this week's topic, I decided to research the relationship between sleep and stroke risk. I chose this topic because sleep is something that everyone must do and that it tends to vary from person to person. So to start off, cerebrovascular disease is an umbrella term for conditions that affect blood flow to the brain and which can lead to brain damage. Causes of interruptions in blood flow include stenosis, which is narrowing of the arteries, thrombosis, which is clot formation, embolism, which is artery blockage, and hemorrhage, which is blood vessel rupturing. Some common types of cerebrovascular diseases are aneurysms, carotid stenosis, arteriovenous fistula, and stroke. Some interesting statistics that I found were that 795,000 people in the US a year have a stroke, and 1 in 6 deaths from cardiovascular disease are due to stroke. So, what is a stroke and what are the signs? Strokes occur when there is a reduction or blockage in blood flow to the brain, leading to an oxygen deficit. Common signs of stroke include numbness or weakness in the face, arms, and legs, especially if they all correlate to one side of the body, confusion, difficulty walking, speaking, and seeing, and extreme headaches. The National Stroke Association uses the acronym FAST to inform the public of warning signs for stroke. F is for face drooping, A for arm weakness, S for speech difficulty, and T for time to call 911. So, the most important risk factor for stroke is hypertension, but some other really common and important ones are smoking, alcohol, diabetes, hypercholesteremia, and hyperlipidemia. For my research, I wanted to see if sleep duration and sleep quality affected stroke risk and if it is a common risk factor or an important one. So, for my first study, I found this research by Zhao, who surveyed 18,670 participants with a mean age of 52 plus or minus 16.8 years in a province in central China between the years of 2013 and 2015. The researchers used a questionnaire to determine sleep duration and had 6 categories to self-record total hours of sleep in a day. The categories were less than 6 hours, 6 to 7 hours, 7 to 8 hours, 8 to 9 hours, 9 to 10 hours, and greater than 10 hours. Stroke incident was recorded only by medical attestation. The results found a J-curve relationship between sleep and stroke risk, finding that those who slept longer than 9 hours had the greatest correlation to stroke, while those who slept 7 to 8 hours had the lowest correlation. Those who slept less than 7 hours also had a higher correlation to stroke than those who slept 7 to 8 hours, but the correlation between less hours was lower than the correlation between more hours. Overall, the study found that the healthy amount of sleep to get at night is 7 to 8 hours. So another study by G recruited 39,533 participants who were 18 years of age or older. They took records of stroke and death from stroke from 2009 to 2017, and in 2017 had a follow-up questionnaire where 27,712 of the original participants followed up. Quality of sleep was measured using a Chinese version of the Pittsburgh Sleep Quality Index, which is a reliable questionnaire that determines the quality of sleep based on points adding up based on quality of sleep questions. At the end, once all the points are added up for each question, there are categories which are poor, common, and good, and you will be placed in one of those for your quality of sleep. Sleep duration was self-reported. The study found that 617 participants reported having a stroke. The results found that those who slept shorter hours or longer hours had a greater risk of stroke than those who slept 6 to 8 hours. It also found that those who reported having a low quality of sleep had a greater increase in the risk of stroke. It also found that quality of sleep was a bigger indicator of stroke than duration was. When they discussed the results of the study, they tried to correlate why duration and quality might affect the risk of stroke. And they mentioned how short sleep is linked to increases in cortisol levels, which is known to increase blood pressure, which is our most important risk factor of stroke. So, therefore, it can increase that risk of stroke. Long sleep durations increase inflammatory markers and insulin resistance, which is also known to be a risk factor for stroke. And poor quality of sleep shows an increase in inflammation and a decrease in insulin sensitivity, which can be a high risk factor for stroke. Between these two studies, there was only self-reported data for sleep duration because there's not a much easier way to get that, but that allows for bias in the results. So it's important to look at multiple studies that have these kinds of data. And also, with the study before this, they required medical attestation for stroke records, which means a physician needs to sign off on the fact that you had a stroke. So that can cause an underestimation of strokes based on if everybody who had a stroke got that medical attestation and whether they all handed those in. So, stroke prevention methods would be to reduce blood pressure, maintain a healthy BMI, eat healthy, well balanced meals, stay hydrated, exercise, and maintain a healthy sleep schedule. So, how can you maintain a healthy sleep schedule? You can decrease your caffeine consumption and try not to consume any before bed, or best case scenario, anywhere like roughly 6 hours before bed. Make sure to exercise, especially cardio, and doing some nice stretches will help your sleep quality. Decreasing alcohol consumption, limiting screen time before bed, and not watching TV 1 to 2 hours before bedtime, and making a sleep schedule and being sure to be consistent. That is all. Thank you.